Ladies and gents, welcome back to Slothbox. I'm Lyndon Dixon, and this is the review show of all of the biggest boxing that's happened at the weekend. And what a card! The day of reckoning out in Saudi Arabia, stacked with top heavyweight fights and a couple others from the other divisions, and a couple upsets on there as well, if you ask me. I mean, Joseph Parker beat Deontay Wilder, outclassed him. Anthony Joshua with an early-ish finish against Otto Ireland. But we'll get into all of those guys in a little bit. I just want to talk about what happened elsewhere on the card. I mean, Opetaia with one of the latest knockout of the year contenders you can get. I mean, he left it late in the day. It's Christmas in a day or two. And yeah, he knocked out Ellis Zorro in, I think, the second round. And like I say, if you haven't seen it after this video, go and watch it. It really was spectacular. But it just goes to show that you can be a good fighter in Ellis Zorro, but Opetaia is one of the best. And for me, I just want to see him now in those best fights, the fights that match his ambition of being one of the best. And for me, I would love to see him against Chris Smith in February or March. But you know, they both put a belt on the line. Let's get it on. I feel like that'd be a cracking fight to start the year off with. And then next up, we've got Daniel Dubois against Big Baby Miller. Now, there was a lot of trash talk in that one. Saying Daniel Dubois actually coming out saying that you may be Big Baby, but come Saturday night, I'm going to be Big Daddy. And for those who know Daniel Dubois, that's not normally his style, but a cracking line for fight week. And yeah, the fight for me, it was a good one. It wasn't the best. It wasn't the most technical. It won't be watched in 10 years' time. Do you know what I mean? But it was a good fight. I mean, Dubois came out looking for an early finish, in my opinion, but almost didn't want to get too tangled up in Jarrell Miller, because you don't want him leaning on you. You don't want him pushing you against the ropes because he's so heavy. Miller was 100 pounds heavier than Daniel Dubois was in the ring on Saturday night. So there was clearly a game plan there. But the longer the fight went on, Miller seemed to ease into it. But then after about the 8th round, his gas tank just went. And that is because of the size. He was like 350 pounds in there. That's huge for a boxer, for any athlete. I mean, I don't get how that you'd think that would be okay. Yes, you're a heavyweight, but the only big man that can do it like that are really rare, extraordinary, one-off, unique talents. Tyson Fury, George Foreman. Big Baby Miller doesn't really fit in that category for me. So yeah, Daniel Dubois got the late knockout. I think it was actually the final round. Yeah, it was. And it was a lovely little finish, but for me, the ref should have stopped it a little bit earlier. Miller was taking a lot of punishment in that final minute. But yeah, great fighting. Now the question is, what does Dubois do next? Who does he go for? Because there's still just so many to pick from. On the card even. But yeah, next up I want to talk about Dimitri Bivol against the Brit Lyndon Arthur. Now, Lyndon Arthur was 25-1 going into this fight. And come the 12th round, a lot of people understood why. If you're a casual and haven't really seen that much of Bivol and you just saw the odds, I'm sure that performance would have explained why. Arthur barely laid a punch, barely laid a glove on Dimitri Bivol. Bivol dropped him in the 11th round, and I think on all the scorecards, he won all the 12 rounds, and then obviously got that extra round because of the knockout. So yeah, the only answer for me has to be Beterbiev. Give us the fight. Give us the fight we want, or the winner at least, between Beterbiev and Callum Smith. Next year, I feel like there's a real big opportunity, especially with all the money and the opportunity in Saudi Arabia, for that to be the way of making these fights. I mean, they brought Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren together. So if they can do that, surely they can make some of these big fights that we've been calling for happen. Now, this is where the fights get interesting, ladies and gents. The co-main event, Deontay Wilder against Joseph Parker. Now, the script probably said that Joseph Parker would outbox him for a few rounds, and then the inevitable right hand of Deontay Wilder would land. It didn't come. That right hand never came. Deontay Wilder barely threw a punch for about 5 or 6 rounds. I couldn't believe it. I'm sat there watching it like, here it comes, and it never ever came. It was like he was on the naughty Father Christmas's naughty list, and yeah, he just didn't get what he wanted. It didn't come through for him. So yeah, Joseph Parker outboxed him for 12 rounds. It was a great display from him. When he got him hurt, he jumped on him, showed his intent. And for any of the other heavyweights that were watching that, I feel like Joseph Parker's put on a good display and put a valid claim to some of those big fights in 2024. But Deontay Wilder afterwards saying that, you know, yeah, he feels like he's got a bit left in him, but that it might be it. Now, for me, the problem is we've known Deontay Wilder as one of the most aggressive heavyweights in recent years. And yet this fight week he's saying that he's found peace, which is great. Fair play, fair play. Like, I'm happy for you. You've clearly been battling your demons, but the Wilder in there that found peace didn't look like the Wilder that's good enough to win those fights. So for me, if that is it, fair play. You've come, you've taken your money, you've given us some great fights over the past few years. Maybe it is time. And maybe we won't see that fight with Anthony Joshua. Now, talking about the man Anthony Joshua, people were doubting him. Wilding's going to be a banana skin in your career. You're going to slip up. Blah, blah, blah. Ben Davison, boxer-sized Ben, isn't going to be good enough to help you do it. Bollocks. Everything. It was a nearly punch-perfect performance from him. He came out there, the classic thing that people want. We want the old AJ. Well, the Anthony Joshua of old came out there, set to him, put it on him, and Wilding didn't want to know. He didn't come out in the fifth round. The reasons haven't really been clarified yet for why he didn't. But I think he was just getting hurt. I think he was getting hurt from pretty much the second round, I'd say. And yeah, Anthony Joshua looked like his old self in there. And yeah, it was a really interesting performance because the clear thing that they were doing with that card is to set up him versus Wilder. Parker ripped up the script, didn't he? And I'm actually quite happy about that. I love it when things like that happen in boxing because Parker, who's fought 3 times in the last 15 months, lost once, I think. And yeah, he's really ripped up the script. You can think back to his underwhelming performance against Joshua back in the day when he was a younger man. And here he is, all those years later, chucking his name in the hat again. Now, how can you not love that? Yes, we're not going to see the Wilder fight, probably. We probably won't see that now. But I'd like to see this Parker against this Joshua. I'd love to see that. That would be a great fight because, let's face it, Fury's going to milk out those... he's going to milk this Usyk fight. I doubt we'll see it when that we're supposed to. But, yeah, a really interesting card this weekend. Let me know, who should Anthony Joshua fight next? Who should Jay Opetaia fight next? What does Deontay Wilder do now? Does he try and make a comeback? But he's 38. Is that it? Is that it? Did we just see that his legs had gone a bit and he weren't feeling it? Who does Joseph Parker fight next? Who do they pick for him? Because Tyson Fury and Usyk are in a fight. Joshua is waiting for a fight, but he might not take as risky a fight as that. There's not really anyone else. So he's now sort of the top 4, top 5th guy. Because, yeah, I'd say that. Fury, Usyk, Joshua are the top 3. Deontay Wilder was in the top 5/top 4. He's just been sort of knocked out of that because of Parker. So Parker's now sort of got the pickings of the rest, even if he wants to fight before he gets that big fight against one of those top 3 guys. But anyway, what a weekend of boxing. What a way to finish the year. We've got a little bit of boxing coming up. Inoue is fighting on Boxing Day. Yeah, can't wait for that little Christmas treat later on in the year. So yeah, I've been Lyndon Dixon. This has been the review show where we only talk about the biggest boxing in town. Make sure you take it easy. Enjoy your Christmas and your New Year's. We will see you very soon with some big things on Slothbox from myself, from James, from some of the other team. And yeah, a lot of exciting things coming next year. Been a big year, but yeah, take it easy and we'll see you on the next one.